Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to jump into some fascinating new tech.
Well, today we're going to be looking at something that's definitely making waves in the tech world, AI agents.
Yeah, those things are more than just chatbots, right?
Exactly. They can actually take actions both in the digital world and the real world. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, back in 2022, Sam Altman, he's the founder of OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he predicted that by 2025, AI agents would be, actually in the workforce.
And look at us, right on schedule.
It's crazy how fast this stuff is moving, right?
Yeah.
So now we're seeing these AI agents popping up everywhere. They're doing research, they're managing projects. Some are even making millions in the stock market.
Yeah, that Truth Terminal AI is a pretty crazy example.
Talk about unpredictable,
Yeah.
right? Even its creator didn't see that coming.
So for those who might not be totally up to speed, what exactly an AI agent, how is it different from just a plain old chatbot?
Okay, so think of it like this. A chatbot is like a talking head. It can answer your questions, tell you jokes, but it can't really do anything outside of that conversation.
Got it.
An AI agent, though, it can actually interact with the world around it. It can take in information make decisions, and then actually take action.
So like a chatbot on steroids?
Kind of, yeah, but with a lot more nuance.
Okay, so walk us through the anatomy of an AI agent. What are the nuts and bolts that make it tick?
Sure. So basically, an AI agent has four main parts. It's got sensors, actuators, a control system, and then a learning and memory system.
Sounds complicated.
It is, but it's also super cool. Like, take self-driving cars, for example. That's an embodied AI agent right there.
Embodied meaning it has a physical body.
Right. So its sensors are things like cameras, LiDAR, GPS, all feeding information to the AI.
Like the AI's eyes and ears.
Exactly. Then the actuators, those are the things that allow the AI to act on that information. So in a car, that's the steering wheel, the gas pedal, the brakes, all controlled by the AI.
Pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Oh, yeah. It's wild. But it's not all about robots and cars. There are also disembodied AI agents out there.
Disembodied meaning they exist purely in the digital world.
Yep. There's software programs that can manage all sorts of complex systems. Like, imagine an AI controlling the traffic flow in a city based on real-time data from all those cameras and sensors.
That's happening already, right?
In some places, yeah. Or think about financial algorithms. Those are disembodied AI agents, too. They can analyze market trends, make trades, even manipulate the market if they're not programmed carefully.
That's a bit scary, isn't it? I mean, what if these AI agents start doing things we don't want them to do?
That's the big question, right? And it's one of the reasons why we need to be really careful about how we develop and deploy these things.
Speaking of unintended consequences, we were talking about that Truth Terminal AI earlier. I mean, who could have predicted that thing would become a meme coin millionaire?
Right. That's a perfect example of what we call emergent properties in AI behavior that pops up that you just didn't expect, even if you program the thing.
So basically, we're saying that even the people who create these AI agents don't always fully understand how they're going to behave out in the real world.
Yeah, it's kind of like raising kids. You can try to teach them right, but you never really know what they'll do when they're out on their own.
So we're basically creating these super intelligent digital beings and then just crossing our fingers, hoping they'll play nice.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. But yeah, there's definitely an element of the unknown here. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations about the ethics of AI development, making sure these powerful tools are used for good and not for harm.
Absolutely. But with all this talk about AI agents taking actions and, maybe even manipulating things, doesn't it make you wonder about the whole robots taking over the world scenario? I mean, are we all going to be out of a job soon?
It's a valid concern for sure. And there's no doubt that AI is going to change the job market in a big way. But it's not necessarily all doom and gloom. Throughout history, technological advances have always disrupted the way we work. But they've also created new opportunities.
So you're saying it's not about AI replacing humans, but more about humans and AI working together.
Exactly. AI can handle those tedious, repetitive tasks, freeing up humans to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, the things that AI isn't so good at yet.
So those of us who can adapt and learn to work alongside these AI agents will be in a good position.
Absolutely. In fact, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, he's even predicting that AI agents will eventually make software as a service, or SaaS, obsolete.
Wow. Really? So all those cloud-based software tools we use every day, those could become a thing of the past.
It's possible. Think about it. A lot of those SaaS platforms, they're just humans interacting with databases, performing the same tasks over and over again. That's ripe for AI automation.
I see your point. But for those of us who aren't, tech geniuses, how can we prepare for this AI-powered future of work? It all seems a bit daunting.
It's all about lifelong learning, man. The key is to stay curious, be willing to adapt, pick up new skills as you go.
Easier said than done sometimes, though.
True, but it's essential in this day and age, especially when it comes to AI. We need to understand how these systems work, what their limitations are, how to use them effectively.
So it's not just about learning to code or becoming a data scientist. It's about developing that AI literacy.
Exactly. And that's something anyone can do regardless of their background.
Well, that's encouraging. But let's get into some real-world examples of how AI agents are already changing the game. I've heard some pretty amazing things about what's happening in scientific research.
Oh yeah, that's a hotbed of AI innovation right now. Like scientists at AMD and Johns Hopkins University, they actually used an AI agent to help them conduct research and design experiments.
Really? So the AI wasn't just analyzing data, it was actually coming up with research questions and figuring out how to test them.
Yep, pretty wild, right? It's like having a super-powered research assistant that never gets tired.
That's incredible. So AI is actually accelerating the pace of scientific discovery.
Absolutely. And it's not just limited to research either. We're seeing AI agents being used in project management, marketing, finance, pretty much every industry you can think of.
So it really is an AI revolution.
It is, and it's just getting started.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to gather our thoughts. When we come back, we'll delve a bit deeper into the human side of AI and explore how individuals and organizations can prepare for this exciting and maybe a little bit scary new world of work.
It's kind of like we're standing on the edge of this uncharted territory. We've got these incredibly powerful AI tools, but we're still figuring out the best way to use them.
Yeah, and like we were talking about before, there's always the risk of unintended consequences, right? I mean, the truth terminal thing is a prime example.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to have these conversations about AI ethics, We need to make sure we're building these systems with safeguards in place so they don't end up doing more harm than good.
So what does that look like in practice? I mean, how do we actually ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly?
Well, for starters, we need to be really careful about the data that's used to train these AI agents. If the data is biased, then the AI is going to be biased too.
Right, garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of transparency. We need to be able to understand how these AI systems are making decisions so we can hold them accountable if something goes wrong.
That makes sense. So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people who are building it and using it.
Right. It's about creating a culture of responsibility around AI development and deployment.
But beyond the ethical considerations, what about the practical stuff? I mean, for the average person out there, what skills do we need to develop to thrive in this AI-powered world?
Adaptability, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be key. The pace of technological change is only going to accelerate. So we need to be able to learn new things quickly and adjust to new ways of working.
So it's like the whole lifelong learning thing, but on steroids.
Pretty much, yeah. And that includes learning about AI itself. We need to understand how these systems work, what they can do, what their limitations are.
So it's not just about being tech savvy, it's about having that AI literacy.
Exactly. And that's something everyone can benefit from.
Okay, so let's say I'm on board with all this. I want to be prepared for the AI future. Where do I even start?
Well, a good place to begin is by focusing on your critical thinking skills. AI can provide us with tons of information, but it's up to us to evaluate that information, decide what's reliable and what's not.
So basically, we can't just blindly trust everything an AI tells us.
Nope. Got to use that human brain of yours.
Oh, yeah.
AI can be a powerful tool, but it's just a tool. We're still the ones calling the shots.
I like that. We're still in control. But along those lines, I'm curious about what this all means for businesses. I mean, how are companies adapting to this whole AI agent thing?
Well, smart companies are starting to see AI as a way to boost productivity and efficiency. They're identifying tasks that can be automated, investing in AI training for their employees, creating new workflows that integrate human and AI capabilities.
It sounds like a pretty big shift for a lot of organizations.
It is, but the ones that embrace it are going to have a serious competitive advantage.
Do you have any examples of companies that are doing this well?
Sure. We talked about Clara earlier, the global payments company. They replaced 700 human employees with an AI agent, and it's been a huge success.
Yeah, we did mention that. Yeah. But that brings up another point. what happens to all those employees who were replaced by AI? I mean, that's a lot of people potentially losing their jobs.
It's a valid concern, and that's why it's so important for companies to invest in reskilling and upskilling their workforce, provide training programs, help people develop new skills that are in demand.
So it's not just about implementing AI, it's about managing the human side of the equation too.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between technological advancement and human well-being. AI should be used to improve our lives, not make them worse.
Well said. So for all those folks out there who might be feeling a little anxious about the future of work in this AI-driven world, what's your advice?
Don't freak out. First of all, change is inevitable, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. We just need to be prepared for it.
Okay, so how do we prepare?
Embrace the idea of lifelong learning. Be curious about new technology. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try new things.
So it's about having a growth mindset, basically.
Exactly. And remember, AI is just a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely. We have the power to shape the future we want to see.
I like that. It's a message of empowerment. We're not just passive bystanders in this AI revolution. We have agency.
Absolutely. And the more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the changes ahead and create a future that benefits everyone.
Well said. Speaking of understanding AI, I think it's time to unpack some of the key concepts we've been talking about. We've mentioned emergent properties a few times now. Can you explain what that means in plain English?
Sure. So emergent properties are basically those unexpected behaviors or capabilities that pop up in AI systems. Like you build this complex system and then all of a sudden it starts doing things you never programmed it to do.
So like with Truth Terminal, its ability to make millions in the stock market, that wasn't something its creator intentionally built in, right?
Right. That behavior just kind of emerged from the complex interactions within the AI system. It's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts kind of thing.
So in a way, we're still just scratching the surface of what AI is capable of. We're constantly being surprised by what these systems can do.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so exciting. There's so much potential for AI to solve problems, improve our lives, really push the boundaries of what's possible.
I agree. It's a pretty amazing time to be alive. But for now, let's take a quick pause to digest all this incredible information. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts and key takeaways from our deep dive into the world of AI agents. Okay, so we spent a lot of time talking about the nuts and bolts of AI agents, how they work, what they can do. But I think it's important to step back for a minute and really think about the big picture. What does all this mean for us as individuals and as a society?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the technical details, but at the end of the day, AI is going to have a profound impact on pretty much every aspect of our lives.
So let's break it down. What are some of the key takeaways from our deep dive into the world of AI agents?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's clear that the future of work is going to be heavily influenced by AI. A lot of those jobs that we're used to seeing are going to be automated, at least partially.
Right. We talked about how AI agents are already making their way into fields like research, project management, finance, even creative industries.
Exactly. And that trend is only going to accelerate in the coming years. So those of us who can adapt and learn to work alongside these AI agents are going to be in a much better position.
So what does that look like in practice? I mean, how do we prepare for this AI-powered future of work?
It's all about developing those essential skills, adaptability, continuous learning, critical thinking, problem-solving, creativity. Those are the things that AI is still struggling with.
Right, so it's not just about learning to code or becoming a data scientist. It's about honing those uniquely human skills that are going to be more valuable than ever in the age of AI.
Absolutely. And we also need to be mindful of the ethical implications of AI development, We can't just blindly embrace this technology without considering the potential downsides.
Yeah, we talked about things like bias, transparency, accountability. All those factors are going to be crucial as we move forward with AI development and deployment.
Exactly. We need to make sure that AI is used for good, to improve our lives, solve problems, make the world a better place.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the fascinating world of AI agents, I think it's safe to say that we're standing at a crossroads.
Yeah.
This technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we live and work, but it also comes with its own set of challenges and risks.
It's up to us to decide how we want to shape this future, to make sure that AI is used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
And to our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this journey into the world of AI agents. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more cutting-edge AI insights.
Until next time, master these skills to lead the future.